Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first knee-jerk stream of the season for Game Week 2. If you are new this season, I do this pretty much every Sunday, at least every Sunday when there's a game week, to give my initial reactions on the previous game week, start looking ahead to the next game week, to talk about my amazing rank, which right now is 6.888 million, which I don't think is very good. I think you're probably meant to be a little bit higher than that. Not my best start. The only bit of hope that I am clinging on to is quite often I actually have an okay game week 1 and 2 and then it goes downhill. So the fact I'm having a bad start, maybe the next couple of weeks will be a lot better, but it has not been good. Palmer blank, Wirtz blank, Bruno blank, Watkins blank. To get all those players in, I went for Dewsbury Hall instead of Reinders, and obviously Reinders did really well. Strand Larson blank, Nico Williams blank, Anderson blank, Pedro Porro and Sanchez clean sheets, and that is it. I can't remember how many points I'm on. It's like 43. Bruno Fernandes, 1 defensive contribution off plus 2 points. And imagine if he got that 1 defensive contribution, he would have been ahead of Wirtz and Palmer, etc., and Watkins. But yeah, it was a really bad week, and there's no way of dressing that up for me. It's terrible. One thing I'm not going to do is panic about it. Like, what can I do? Sometimes players are terrible. You need jerk Wirtz to Reinders. I mean, when Man City was playing Wolves and Strand Larson looked like he was feeling a bit of an injury, I was thinking if he's out for game week 2, I'm going to do Wirtz to Reinders and Strand Larson up to a forward. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep my cool. I have panicked a lot over the weekend, but I've not actually acted on it. I think that is the key for my playing. Is I do like kind of knee-jerk in my head, like this is rubbish, that's rubbish, etc. But I never actually make the transfers based on that because, things can always be better. Bruno didn't even have a good game. He didn't deserve defensive contributions. I think Bruno had an okay game. He made a mistake for the first goal, obviously, or the only goal to give away the corner. But yeah, nobody thinks Agbadu is a good pick. That's fine. I didn't ask anyone, to be honest. I got 10 points from Chris Wood today. I think we can put to bed the pre-season form, by the way. Nottingham Forest can't score a goal in pre-season. They score 3. João Pedro, Ollie Watkins, Mateta can't stop scoring in pre-season if you include the Club World Cup as well. All of them blanked. Pre-season form is just nonsense for the most part in terms of what it means for our players going into, when the football actually starts. Gutted that Forest conceded. Well, at least we now know that Thiago is on penalty, 6 million. He might be a cheap option, but I wouldn't rush to be bringing him in. You want to wildcard? You probably don't need to wildcard. Like, if I wildcarded, I don't know what your team is, but if I wildcarded this team, it would be very similar, apart from I'd probably put Reinders in instead of Dewsbury Hall, and I've not even seen him play yet. He might end up being a pretty good pick. I don't think he's going to get 10 points tomorrow, but if he could get me a goal or an assist, I'd be pretty happy about that. Opinions on Lenny Yoro. It's clear that he's the best Man United defender to go for. Gets DEFCON, got DEFCON today. Pretty good pick, yeah. He should be fairly nailed. I think Yoro, De Ligt, and Shaw is probably our first choice back 3 right now. You might see Maguire play sometimes instead of De Ligt. And obviously when Martinez is back, there's competition and Shaw can never stay fit. But I'd be surprised if Yoro misses too many games. If you are a Man United defender. But there's no need to steam into Man United defence, no matter how well they played. Fulham away is not going to be easy. Burnley is good, but then it's Man City and Chelsea 4 and 5, so I wouldn't be panicking too much. On Reinders, by the way, just to get it out of the way, he looks like he's going to be incredible value. Could he potentially get benched at some point? Maybe, but I think at 5.5 million, it's not going to be an issue. He's probably going to go up in price tonight as well, by the way. So if you're looking to knee-jerk him in, tonight's probably the time to do it. Is Palmer not the 3rd best captain next week with West Ham over Salah? I think it's quite close. You could argue that, but that also feels very knee-jerky, right? No, I don't think anyone would have said Palmer against West Ham until game week 1. And I know Sunderland scored 3, but Sunderland put up less than 0.7 XG. So I didn't see the whole game, but maybe West Ham weren't quite as bad as we think. And to be honest, Palmer was rubbish again today. I feel like Palmer's already on like slightly thin ice. He just hasn't done it in FPL for a very long time. Am I still planning on rolling this week? Yeah. I don't really see too much wrong with my team. I know people are going to be on and on about Reinders all week, and I've got to get him, but I'm not going to sell Palmer, Wirtz, Bruno or Salah for Reinders, and I don't have the money to go from Dewsbury Hall, and I'm not going to take a hit. So I'm not even going to spend any time thinking about how I get Reinders in this week. He can wait until game week 3 or 4 or something like that. Saka didn't do too much either. Yeah, Saka was pretty quiet. Palmer was quiet. Gyökeres was off before the 60th minute. João Pedro blanked. You know, there was lots of terrible returns all over. Is it over after one game week? No. Your video earlier resonated me. Really like that therapy style video. Yeah, maybe I'll do more like that. I almost thought about doing it Saturday morning, but I did it Sunday instead. You played Sanchez over Dubravka. Possibly, yeah. I'm tempted to just go for the Burnley double up, honestly. If Wirtz doesn't do good again, should I sell him and get Semenyo instead? I mean, the thing is, Wirtz has got Burnley in game week 4, right? I mean, that's part of the reason you bought him in. So I really wouldn't rush it, to be honest. Gyökeres is the biggest flop. Yeah, but he might not look like that once he's played Leeds, right? Like, at the end of the day, Man United away is not necessarily an easy game. And Man United did play really well today. Leeds at home, first home game of the season. I would not be surprised if we're thinking a bit different about Gyökeres. Chris, new member, thank you very much. Dave Jones, the real answer to Anderson or Reinders was both. Yeah, I joked about that on Twitter when I'm sat there with Dewsbury Hall. Bought in Watkins and Reinders in place of Wood and Semenyo last minute. So that's 15 more points. Yeah, at least you've got Reinders. 97 all out. Plan was Ekitike to Gyökeres. Would you change plan? No. I mean, what have you seen to change the plan, really? I mean, I do think Gyökeres' minutes are not going to be as good as everyone else thought. I said this for a while. Originally, I thought he was going to get benched for the first game. Then I changed my mind to that he's going to start. But you can't be sure about his minutes early on. Havertz will get used. So I don't mind Ekitike to Gyökeres. But both, I mean, Ekitike is a risk as soon as Isak comes in, you know? So maybe don't rush it. Also, 97 is ridiculous. Fernandes out in Burma in, no doubt. I probably won't be doing that, but sure. Yeah. Cunha and Burma both look pretty good today. I wouldn't knee-jerk too much with them. It'd be interesting to see where Bruno plays against an easier team. Like, he's still going to play central midfield, but will he get forward more often? Like, one of the fouls that he won, like, he was the furthest forward player in the box. Honestly, the chat is exactly why I tweeted about Bruno before the season started. People get so frustrated with him. That's why I said don't buy him. Like, all these players that are the same price or more expensive have blanked, and there's so many comments about Bruno only. People just have this bias against him. Don't buy him. If you've got him, sell him if you want to. Just put yourself out of your misery. West Ham are horrible. Paquetá is playing the 10, so no Defcons. Not sure if he's a hold. Would you roll or knee-jerk Reinders? I probably would hold because I prefer to have 2 transfers going into game week 3. But if anyone wants to buy Reinders, I'm not gonna begrudge them doing that. I'm thinking about Bruno to Semenyo. Here we go. I wasn't fully happy with Bruno before today. I didn't like what I saw with him so deep. Again, what were you expecting? We knew this is where he was going to play, and it's against Arsenal, best defence in the league. So sure, do it if it's going to make you happier, but you do not need to knee-jerk Bruno Fernandes out, honestly. Like, they literally played the hardest defence in the whole league today. So if you're now frustrated with him after that, like, what was the point in buying him in the first place? Honestly. Will be funny if Reinders blanks the coming weeks. I mean, this is a hot take for you. Reinders will not get 2 attacking returns every single week. But he's going to be amazingly... he's going to be amazing value. You're talking about bias. You literally own Bruno 3 seasons. Yeah, I mean... yeah. Oh, I can't. I don't know if I can cope with this. I'm just going to have to mute you, I think. Like, what I'm saying is, I literally said plenty of times, don't buy Bruno. I just put him in my team. It's everyone else that goes on and on about him. What do you mean he won't get 2 attacking returns a week? I just don't think that's going to happen for the whole season. Do I replace João Pedro for Chris Wood? Again, what's changed your mind? Chris Wood had a good fixture and he scored. Like, João Pedro's still a good option, right? I mean, for most people, unless your player is injured or is not going to start, you should probably just hold them. I don't see the point in like knee-jerking on João Pedro. I mean, before the season started, you know, people were talking about João Pedro like he's the best forward in the game. So, like, why do you suddenly want to get rid of him? I mean, he was really bad today, but, you know, Cole Palmer was pretty bad as well, and I'm not looking to sell him. By the way, I just realised I left the bus captain on Palmer. I actually had that before West Ham lost 3-0 to Sunderland. Why are all these people rushing into decisions? It's been 1 week. It's always the same after game week 1 going into game week 2. Trust me, every single season, without question. Like, again, like, two things can be true, right? Reinders can be great value, but it can also be true that you don't have to rush out and buy him. Like, what tends to happen is in game week 1, there's a lot of active people, and there's a lot of people that will not be playing in 10 weeks' time. And people act as though everything that happened in game week 1 is exactly what's going to happen in game week 2, 3, 4, etc. And it's very difficult to not knee-jerk. But people will do it, right? So, completely up to them. Very much thinking of getting rid of Bowen, as West Ham could be in big trouble. Again, that's a bit knee-jerky for me. West Ham might be in trouble. And honestly, I don't think Graham Potter will have very long to turn this around. But Bowen is still a really solid option. Like, you don't need to get rid of him all of a sudden. What to do with Konza? Was thinking about bench boost game week 2. Well, obviously, if you want to bench boost game week 2, you should sell him. But for most people, you should just bench him, I expect. And just use someone off your bench instead. Make sure Reinders doesn't become your new Lundstrom. Yeah, I mean, again, Reinders is very good value. I'm not sure what you want me to say, really. Like, I'm saying he's great value. I'm just saying you don't necessarily need to rush out and sell all your players this week to get him. Vertson, Strand Larsen are obvious weak spots in that team. I mean, Strand Larsen got the same points as Mateta and João Pedro this week. And he's probably on penalties as well. I actually, if you watch the Wolves-Man City game, I actually thought Strand Larsen played pretty well. I actually thought, until they conceded, I thought Wolves were pretty good in general. So for 6.5 million, I'm pretty happy with that. And honestly, I'm not going to... I can't listen to Verts is a weak spot when the game launched and he was priced 8.5. I said so many times on that first stream, he's not as essential as people make out. And oh my days, the comments about him. Honestly. Verts is still a good pick. There's nothing wrong with him at all just because he's blanked in one game. But again, he's not essential. Nobody is. So if you don't own Verts, you're obviously not buying him. But if you've got him, I don't really see why you would be selling him, to be honest with you. What about Marmoush? Look, Marmoush, this is the problem with Man City players, right? They get benched and then you don't know what to do. You feel trapped because you don't want to sell them in case they start the next week. But then you don't know if they're going to start. I'd probably keep him and hope for the best, but he's going to be a problem sooner rather than later. So you could sell him to Reinders. I don't see Reinders getting benched anytime soon. Any hindsight thoughts on your team? Anyone you'd have not taken or think you should have? The problem with that question is I'm just going to say players that scored, right? So I'm going to say Reinders instead of Dewsbury Hall and Verts down to Rodgers. The thing is, like, you know, so the problem with answering that question is I would say I'll do Verts to Rodgers, Strand Larsen to Mateta, and Dewsbury Hall to Reinders to get his 10 points because that's the 3 moves that I was thinking about doing before the deadline. Dewsbury Hall could get close to those 10 points, and then all of a sudden, Verts and Strand Larsen matched Mateta and Rodgers anyway. I mean, Rodgers got an extra point for a clean sheet, so when you actually think about it a bit more, it's not as bad as it necessarily first looks. What I mean by that is if I had Reinders, the other players I would have had instead would have still blanked. So it's not that much of a huge deal. It's just an all-round bad week, basically. What to do with Fulkrug? Probably keep him. The thing is, unless you've got money in the bank, where do you even go? If Dewsbury Hall doesn't start, would you sell to Reinders? I would have had 0.5. Well, the thing is, the problem you've got if you own Dewsbury Hall and you've got 0.5 in the bank is Reinders is going to be 5.6 million tomorrow. So you've got to do it before he plays. And that just doesn't feel great. Like, what if Dewsbury Hall plays 10 and looks really good? You know? Do you think defensive contributions points can change after game week? I think they probably could, yeah. Imagine if Bruno gets one after the deadline. Gets up to 4 points. Massive score. Got 55 points so far. Happy with the game week without any chip shoes. Yeah, pretty nice. Would you dare Captain Palmer game week 2? Look into Watkins. Yeah, Watkins has got popular now that Brentford look terrible. I think I'd probably end up on Salah, to be honest. Kukurea was so high up on the pitch. Agreed, he looked good. Thoughts on Porro to Manoz for bench boost game week 2? Plan was either to go this week or 4. Yeah, wait until Palace play, like you said. Yeah, if you're bench boosting 2, I'd get the better player, especially if you want him from 4 anyway. Marmoush to who with 8.5 million don't have Reinders. I mean, probably someone like Wirtz, honestly, is probably the best option. I would only probably go to... I mean, I'm not sure I feel comfortable saying that Reinders is now better than Wirtz, honestly. Like, that just feels massively knee-jerk. What I will say is, if you think you're going to use that money in a good way in Game Week 3, then maybe make the downgrade now. But, like, Wirtz is still a pretty good pick. It's not necessarily the ideal time to buy him. I also like Sarr at 6.5 million. Forest at home, Villa away, Sunderland at home, next 3. Like, I'll put some money on Sarr outscoring Reinders next 3. If Palmer keeps playing 10, he might need to be done as an FPL option. I am also like tending to lean that way, yeah. Yeah, Palace do have Europe midweek. They got Europe between game weeks 2 and 3 as well, I think. No one's talking about Richarlison, 2 amazing goals, simply because Solanke's going to come in at some point. Eze at Spurs could be interesting, agreed. Although that we don't know yet if obviously that's going to go ahead, but we'll see. Do you think Reinders could be this year's Rodgers? Yes. I mean, he's looking most likely right now, isn't he? Don't completely rule Dewsbury Hall out of the conversation. I don't know if he's going to... First of all, I don't know if he's going to start as a 10 tomorrow, and I also don't know if he's going to keep playing there. And the thing that makes Reinders so good if he gets regular minutes is that he plays for Man City, and they will be one of the teams that scores the most goals this year, right? Palmer to Saka is an easy move. There's no chance I'm going to do that, because I don't want Saka after Leeds game. Was happy with my team, now have a list of transfers. Always happens after game week 1. Try and not panic too much. Things might look a little bit better soon. Gyökeres didn't look good. It's one game, though. Like, at the end of the day, and this will be the same for a lot of players, if you got Gyökeres, you're not selling him. If you don't have him, you're not buying him. Probably. Unless it was your plan already. The Wirtz meltdown is ridiculous. It was his first game. He'll be a great pick. It'll probably end up being a pretty good pick, yeah. But we'll have to wait and see. It's not ideal. It's not ideal to have him for Bournemouth at home. To blank against Bournemouth at home, then have Newcastle away, Arsenal at home. But I'm not going to knee-jerk on it at all. You didn't mean for game week 2 just in general. I mean, Saka wasn't very good today either, to be honest. Compared to Palmer, I would say. I was one of the few with both Salah and Haaland. Right now, 82 points and no chips. What a start. Got lucky with Saliba. Saliba, 8, Nuri, Reinders. A lucky start for a change. Very nice. I mean, I wouldn't put it all down. I mean, obviously, yes, there is a bit of luck. But don't put it all down to luck. Like, you made some good picks. That's what you do, right? You make some good picks and hope you get some points. 8 Nuri. Interestingly, though, if you look at the tweet I quoted from Luke, he basically said that 8 Nuri played kind of left centre-back almost in possession, which is interesting, right? So when Vardiol's back, will he play that role? Will 8 Nuri come out of the team? Will they change setup? Don't know. But 8 Nuri played well, and he got DEFCON. So did Saliba. Knee-jerk to Captain Reinders. Okay. Now we're going too far. Put the FPL team down, right? Put it down. Step away for a night. Come back tomorrow and see if you still want to captain Reinders. It's not even to say he's necessarily a terrible option, but like seriously, we're knee-jerking way too much now. Way too much. 63 points with Dewsbury Hall to play. Very nice. Haaland, captain Salah, Palmer. Very, very nice indeed. Vibe Power for 11 months. Thank you. I do have 0.5 in the bank, so not trying to panic. But should I move Tosin? Was trying to take a punt if he starts this week. Tosin might be back next week. I don't think he's like out long term, so I wouldn't panic. I don't think he's going to drop in price. His ownership can't be that high. Thoughts on Sarr or Bob? Top 5.5 million midfielder options. I don't know about 5 of them. Sarr is not going to keep playing as a number 10. And I don't know if he'll always be in the team. He is playing well, so he might keep his place, but you've missed the Burnley game now, so just wouldn't worry about it. Like with Bob, you've got the same problem as Marmoush. He'll start some games, but not others. Things do look good for Bob. Like Luke was saying this to me because Foden was a doubt, and Savinho, there's rumours he could go to Spurs, so they don't really have too many other players that can play on the right. But Bernardo Silva can play there, Foden can play there. Like Oscar Bob's not nailed. If you're going 5.5, you go Reinders, and I still think Elliot Anderson's a good option. Arias you have to discount now because he didn't start the first game. And come back tomorrow. Dewsbury Hall might put on a show. You never know. Rank these 5 for DEFCONs, be honest. Huh? It's probably Anderson. What a strange question. You can just go and look at the numbers, right? Can I show the price changes? So the idea is to actually have the price change widget on the stream. It's just not ready yet, annoyingly. But I can put this up. So this is on the Fantasy Football Hub website. It's completely free to use this, by the way. Reinders, Ekitike, Semenyo all look like they're going to go up in price tonight. I mean, Semenyo is a really good option from Game Week 2. Reinders is good as well. Ekitike, I wouldn't buy him, personally. You've missed the Bournemouth at home game. It's Newcastle away, Arsenal at home. They're going to be a bit tougher. And you've still got the Isak problem. Ballard, Sunderland defender, who actually smashed it with like 17 points. He's going to rise tomorrow, apparently. And then if I go on decrease, I don't think there's anyone... Yeah, there's no one close to dropping in price. Solanke might drop tomorrow. Damsgaard tomorrow, possibly. Isak, I mean, crazy that people owned him. Marmoush might go down in a few days. So that's about it for price changes at the moment. It's quite slow, actually. Slowish. Went with Xhaka, but have 0.5 million go to Reinders. I still think 2 free transfers in Game Week 3 is probably more beneficial. But honestly, if I'm completely honest, if I was sat there with Xhaka and 0.5, I'd be going to Reinders before the price rise. I would. So I would probably do it, yeah. Got 87 points on bench boost. Haaland, Ekitike, is that bad? Come on, you know that's not bad. I've got 87. I'm sat on 43 points. Is the team on screen your final pick for Game Week 2? I hate to break it to you, it's Sunday. The deadline's not until Friday. Nothing is final until then. Transferring Wirtz is knee-jerk considering how good he was in the Community Shield. Again, like I said earlier, it always happens in Game Week 1 or after Game Week 1. What do I think about Gyökeres captain? I don't hate it because it's Leeds, but I would not trust his minutes completely. If you've got him and Saka, I'd definitely captain Saka over Gyökeres, I think. Is it too early to wildcard? Probably for most people, I would say. How many points is considered a successful week? There's no number you can put on that because it changes week to week. Like sometimes you can hit 50 and it's a great week if everyone else is getting 30. And sometimes those weeks do happen. And then, you know, other times 60, 70 is what you need. It's like you're being stubborn. Here we go. It's like you're being stubborn and not accepting that you missed and didn't spot the boat with Reinders. I mean, you say I didn't spot it. I was here panicking on the deadline stream at the last minute thinking about getting him in. Just accept it and get him in. Come on. It's just nonsense. You're just talking nonsense. So you're telling me if you had this team, you'd sell Salah, Bruno, Wirtz or Palmer to Reinders? Is that what you're saying? Or you'd take a -4? I honestly think it's just nonsense talk. Like this always happens. Some player does really well in Game Week 1 and people treat them like they're Lionel Messi. And again, I am agreeing with you that Reinders is great, great value. But let's not pretend that he has to come into our team in Game Week 2. Like, whatever the circumstances are to get him in, you know? I'm depressed after this week. My team didn't even perform. I had Wirtz, Watkins, Larson and Palmer. Welcome to my world. Don't you want to jump on Reinders for an easy price rise? I'd rather have 2 free transfers in Game Week 3. Look, I said this on the video earlier. It's not nice to pay more than other people for players, but Reinders is not at a price point where he's going to suddenly become really difficult to get to. So if I get to Game Week 3 and I need him and he's 5.8, 5.9 million, like if he's as good as you're all saying, he's worth 5.8, 5.9 million as well, right? So I can just easily downgrade. Let's say I get to Game Week 3 and I want to downgrade Wirtz to Reinders. You know, let's pretend he's gone up to 6 by then, which won't happen, but he could. Then I've still got 2.5 million to spend elsewhere, you know? So it's not... I just don't see it as a massive problem like everyone else does. Of course, I wish I'd got him on the deadline stream, but I didn't, you know? It happens. I'm not that kind of manager that panics as much as some of you guys, you know? It's just not how I play. Chris Wood strikes again. Honestly, I could not believe it. Almost instantly, right? And then he gets the second one as well. I'm really glad that Elliot Anderson got an assist, though, because I think there would have been so many more comments about him versus Reinders. So I know he didn't get as many points, but still. I had a good week, but I had Conza on my bench, and now he's ruined my plans. If you had a good week, though, that's decent, right? Did you watch Reinders? Yeah, am I speaking a different language? I feel like I'm definitely speaking English. He was amazing. He's great value. I'm really not disagreeing with you on most things other than he's absolutely essential to bring in right now. If Reinders is nailed, then he's worth 8+ million. So are you saying he's better than like Wirtz and Bruno now? Is that what we're saying? If you think he's worth 8+ million, you're basically saying he's as good as Wirtz and Bruno. Anderson was really quite decent today. He's a good pick for 5.5. I basically talked myself out of it in the end, but Arias thoughts. Arias is a player I would definitely consider selling to Reinders, I think. Thanks for this morning's video. I was experiencing dread and panic. You're all good. Okay, I'm not going to talk about Reinders anymore. I think we've done it enough. What's your feelings on Njai for tomorrow? Good pick, especially if they get a penalty. Thoughts on Bowen to Chris Wood? Massively knee-jerk. I would just keep Bowen. Should I do your crash to Chris? If you've got your crash, you're keeping him. Don't even pretend otherwise, honestly. 58 points any good this week. Pretty good, yeah? Yeah, easy roll for me, I think. The question really should be, do I actually play double Burnley defence against Sunderland at home? Is anyone else going to do that? I think I will probably go through with it. I might get to the deadline and put Sanchez in instead, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to play Estevan Anderson over Porro, although that does seem a bit rubbish. I might play Porro over Anderson, you know, because I've got Bruno. Now, obviously, Bruno can get returns and so can Anderson. Anderson could score or get defensive contributions, but I might play Pedro Porro because they're probably going to play a back five against Man City, like they did against PSG. It's not a guarantee, but it could happen. Do I not think Sunderland will win after yesterday? The thing with me is, I at least in terms of actions, I don't tend to react too much to one game. So if my plan was already to play double Burnley defence against Sunderland, I'll probably do it. Despite them scoring 3 goals against West Ham. Fulham defensive numbers have been good. Yeah, for what it's worth, I think the correct play is to play Anderson. I might just play Porro instead. Keep Kudus or get Reinders. Again, I think 2 free transfers probably, right? Kudus didn't do anything wrong. Didn't Kudus outscore him, by the way? Got 2 assists. 2 assists and a clean sheet is what? 3, 6, 9. He got 9. I don't know if he got any bonus. Is Kudus a good pick going forward? If you've got him, you probably keep him, but I wouldn't buy him. It's Man City away, right? 77 with bench boost and Njai playing Cunha over Bowen. Not sure what you mean by that question because one's a midfielder, one's a forward, right? Do you think Amorim is going to use Bruno defensive like today for the rest of the season? I mean, we knew this before the season started. He's going to play in central midfield, yes. I did find it funny because at some points when Luke Shaw got forward from left centre back, Bruno was basically filling in that position. It's almost like he was a left back. And I thought people are going to be watching this getting so frustrated. I said this on Final Thoughts. He's the people get so frustrated with him as soon as he blanks. And like you can see it already. He's played Arsenal, toughest defence in the league, and people who own him are panicking with him. Reinders blanks versus Spurs, and people will ask, should we sell Reinders? They might do. Probably not, though. Is Saka good? I don't feel like he was central enough against Man United. I'm pretty sure he'll be good against Leeds at home. Arcuda's got 10 points as well. Fair enough. In Burmo versus Cunha versus Bruno. I mean, if you don't own them, I wouldn't buy any of them right now. I still think Bruno's probably the best of the 3, though. But the other 2 will definitely get plenty of points. And they're cheaper, right? Do you think I should transfer Wirtz for Gakpo and upgrade Larson taking a hit? Nope. Why not just bench boost? Because Guiu's probably not going to play. So Mayenda started 9 and scored. Then Isidore came on and scored. Guiu's not going to start. I don't know if he'll get many minutes at all, really. I think I need to wait a little bit longer for bench boost for my team. Spurs have a good history facing Man City in the league. They do, but they don't have Son anymore. He was a big reason for that. But Bruno didn't blank because Arsenal's the best in the league. He was very deep. Yeah, but why do you think he played so deep? Again, though, like this is very knee-jerky. What were you expecting from Bruno Fernandes? Honestly, where were you expecting him to play? And I do think he'll get forward more when he's not playing Arsenal. You know, he got pushed in the back by Zubimendi when he was like almost in the penalty box. Takes that down, scores. None of these questions get asked, you know? I mean, he probably wouldn't have scored from there. It wasn't an easy chance, but it's not like he was consistently playing as a left back, you know? Thanks for all the content, honestly, but Reiner's captain is nailed, of course. I mean, he is the best player in the league. Also, thoughts on Gakpo to Semenyo before the price rise. Why do you want to sell Gakpo? United had possession. It's not like Arsenal had United in the box. But I get, I'm a little bit confused. Again, what were people expecting from Bruno? Like, we knew this is where he was going to play. This is his new position in this Man United team now. Like, he was one defensive contribution away from outscoring the likes of Palmer, Wirtz, etc. Now, it's only 4 points, but every little helps, right? Another day he gets an assist and 3 bonus. Like, again, it's just a massive knee-jerk. We knew where he was going to play. That's where he played. And now people are, like, super surprised. Keep Bowen or go to Mateta Wood, or I would keep, to be honest. Your patience on these Sunday streams is superhuman. I don't know about that. Do you think Wirtz to Mbermo is a good pick? Not really. I would just keep Wirtz. 74 points of bench boost and Hall left to go. Need your advice for next week. Have Marmouche, keep or sell? If I had Marmouche, I'd be raging right now because he didn't start and I'd probably be selling him. But then that's why I didn't pick him in the first place. You could start Saro. I think you probably just keep Marmouche and play him. But I don't mind if you want to sell him. Oh, I've missed the... Okay. Opinions on Man United performance. Would you prefer to have Onana or Bayinda in goal? I mean, probably Onana. Man United performance was pretty good. Let's just say that. Pretty good, but we've been here before, right? Where they have a good performance, doesn't carry on. Like, it's easy to have these performances against Arsenal, but that was part of the problem with Man United in the past, right? You're up for it against Arsenal City, so all the other teams you need to kind of have similar performances for. Keep Harry Wilson or get John Arias. I would not buy John Arias. That's where he just got benched. It's interesting that nobody mentioned João Pedro. I mean, like, so again, I don't want to keep, maybe like the Reinders thing, I'll stop talking about Bruno in a second. But this is my point about people's perceptions of certain players. And I understand that Bruno Fernandes is more expensive, right? So he's taken up more of my budget. João Pedro, absolute stinker, over 50% owned. Nobody in the chat has mentioned him. Nobody has said, should we sell him? Should we get rid of him? Bruno Fernandes came very close to getting more points than lots of popular players. And it's like, he's got to go at all costs. This is what I mean. People just have this bias. That's why you shouldn't have bought him in the first place. There's just perceptions around certain players. And as soon as they don't do well, it's just, you got to get rid of them. Anthony, new member, thank you very much. What do you think of Burnley versus Sunderland FPL perspective for next week? I think if you've got Burnley defenders, you probably play them. I own Gruder and Solanke. Should I transfer? Solanke's a bit of a worry. You don't know if he... I think Solanke probably starts against City, but it's far from a guarantee. Richarlison's played really well in the last 2 games. Should we sell João Pedro for Chris Wood? Definitely, yeah. Honestly, I said this on Twitter, right? And okay, the way I worded it was a little bit baity, probably. Or at least that's how it came across. I genuinely think Chelsea's best number 9, like pure number 9, is probably Nicholas Jackson. Like, technically, João Pedro is a better player. I'm not convinced he's necessarily a better number 9. Like, João Pedro's got 13 non-penalty goals over 3 seasons. Nicholas Jackson's got 24 in 2. I think people really underrate Nicholas Jackson. And Delap might end up being better. Like, people are absolutely convinced Delap is already better. I'm not so convinced by that. He was a great purchase by Chelsea because he was cheap. He could develop. If he doesn't, you're not going to lose any money. But the idea that Delap and João Pedro are definitely better than Nicholas Jackson, I just don't think that's true. I know he's leaving. I think a lot of Chelsea transfers are just replacing players for players that are not that much better. Honestly. Now, I know João Pedro did really well in the Club World Cup and everyone loves him, but I think he's a good player. I just don't know if he's significantly better than Nicholas Jackson. basically. That's all I'm saying. I don't think, like, is Gittins miles better than Madueke? Probably not. Neto's no good. Palmer was a great purchase by Chelsea. Estavio looks really good as well. I just feel like Chelsea buy a lot of players just to replace other players, but they're not that much better. Nicholas Jackson scored 24 goals in his first 2 seasons. And he didn't play every match, and he doesn't have any penalties. Like, he's severely underrated. Cunha was class today, picked him because I love the way he plays. He was great. So was Mbermo. Love both of them. Neto's fine, but he's not going to give you much output at all. Yeah, exactly. That's another one, mate. Like, Chelsea want to buy Garnacho. I think Garnacho's a good young player, just like Madueke. Do you know what I mean? They just rotate these players. João Pedro's non-penalty goal numbers are terrible. Like I said, 13 non-penalty goals in the Premier League over 3 seasons. Can you build us a Game Week 2 free hit? I might do a video on that, but I'm not going to build it right now. Any early captaincy picks? I fancy Watkins. I don't mind Watkins, but I prefer like an Arsenal player. I might even prefer Palmer over Watkins, to be honest. And obviously Haaland's good. What about the Club World Cup? I mean, the PSG game, great. Like, what's the level of the other team that he scored against? Really, compared to a Premier League team. And by the way, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying João Pedro is a bad player. Absolutely, far, far from it. I'm just saying, I think people that are super convinced he's like a miles better than number 9 than Nicholas Jackson, we'll wait and see. I could be massively wrong. Let's see what happens this season. My team for Game Week 1 is Sanchez, Dubravka, Porro, Murillo, Nico Williams, Anderson. Okay. Any tips what to change? Nothing. I mean, genuinely, that's really good. Salah, Palmer, Reinders. You've already got Reinders, Inverts, and Watkins, João Pedro. Already. João Pedro, best. You've basically got João Pedro, best number 9 in the league, and Reinders, best midfielder in the league in your team. You're absolutely set. No, but in all seriousness, that's just a good team. So don't worry about it. João Pedro should play number 10, Palmer to the right, and Delap as the 9. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. I think Palmer off the right is better, to be honest. Any updates on Frimpong? No. If so, who do you recommend for a replacement? It's a tricky one buying expensive defenders this week. Like, for me, with players like Aït-Nouri, it feels like you've got to get on them as early as possible. The longer you leave it, the worse it will feel to buy them. You're not going to buy Van Dijk before Newcastle away and Arsenal at home. Apparently, he was feeling his hamstring at half-time. That's why he went off. So he might be okay. I don't mind buying a Palace defender this week, like Munoz, to be honest. Out of this, I don't know if I go to any of the 6 millions. Like, Gabriel, to be fair, I guess is not that bad. Leeds at home this week, Forest at home in 4. So maybe Gabriel or someone like Munoz. Yeah, Estavio looks good. But again, it's very hard to know whether he's definitely going to be amazing. But I do agree he looks good. Also, all these signings are just, I don't think they're good news for Palmer in FPL. They keep signing wingers. They obviously don't want to play Palmer off the right. So, the thing, here's what I'll say though, right? I and other people keep saying like, he needs to play off the right. Number 10's not so good. A lot of his returns last year in the first half of the season where he absolutely smashed it, he was playing in that role. So maybe it's just panic over nothing. Oh, Kukure's not a bad shout either. Yeah, fair play. Fair play. Dorgu looks like super value at 4.5. He could be quite good, but Man United's fixtures, I guess 3 of the next 6 are not bad. Fulham away, Burnley at home, Sunderland at home. But they've still got to play Man City and Chelsea. Jared, I think I did answer your super chat earlier. Did you even put one in? I don't think you put one in. Anyway, I've seen that, so no. You're not muted. Bench 1, Saar, Palmer, Wirtz, Reinders, Jorginho, Ruta. Probably Ruta out of those, I guess. Am I going to captain Palmer over Salah? I will consider it, yeah. On the deadline sheet, there's a lot of super chats I didn't get to. There was just so many I could not keep up, unfortunately. I said that at the end of the stream. Like, very grateful for all of them, but it just got to the point where I just couldn't get to them before the deadline. It was nuts. Who would you bench from these? Mateta, Wirtz, Bruno, Reinders, or Gakpo? Oh my god, what a question. Honestly, Reinders, probably. Probably Reinders. Bruno's on penalties, Mateta's on penalties, Bruno's Fulham away, Mateta is Forest at home. Gakpo's no penalties and Verts either. It's Newcastle away. I just feel like if you'd asked me that question in pre-season, even just before game week 1, when I thought Reinders was a good option, I would have said Verts and Bruno to play Gakpo ahead of them. So I would probably bench Reinders out of those. But obviously it feels horrible after that first game. And it might be that Reinders is just as good as all those 8+ million options, you know? Your ownership slide is stuck on goalkeepers. Thank you for pointing that out. I will fix that now. It should be fixed. Should change in a minute. Sells Vicario or Sanchez. I'd probably stick with Sanchez for now. Matthew, did I miss your question? Let me take a look. I'm not sure I did. Watkins and Palmer to Haaland and Reinders -4. I would not take a -4. Like, I don't necessarily think this is how it will go just because of what happened in game week 1. But Watkins is about to play a Brentford side that have just conceded 3 to Forest, and Palmer's about to play a West Ham side that just conceded 3 to Sunderland. So I wouldn't panic too much on removing those 2 players for a -4. Palace is looking very good. Double Palace defence incoming. Probably not double anytime soon. Like, if you already had them in place, fine. If you had one and wanted to buy another one, fine. But if you miss this game week, then yes, Sunderland in 4. But the fixtures, I don't think the fixtures are so good that you should double up. Although, Lacroix is a DEFCON monster, and Minoz is an attacking monster, so maybe you could do that. I benched Reinders like you would and played bench boost just for him. Yeah, fair enough. I completely get it. Because as much as I genuinely believe what I said earlier, that you don't need to like rush to get him in, if you've got him, it's also very difficult not to play him. If only Salah didn't get a 90th minute goal, imagine the meltdown about Haaland. Yeah, it'd be crazy. I mean, I've already had a lot of I've already had a lot of comments about Haaland. Yeah, obviously did great. Fair play if you went for him over Salah or both. Lacroix 0.4 XG today. Yeah, he's very good from set pieces. You've got Richards, but you've also saved 0.5, right? You can always get a better player if you've got more money to spend. What happened with Murillo being a DEFCON monster? I mean, nobody said he would get it every single game, right? I think people are going to knee-jerk Gyökeres out. Yeah, that would be nuts, honestly. I mean, if you had a plan to buy Gyökeres and now you want to not go through with that plan, fair enough. But to sell him, that's just, that is just crazy talk. There is no way I would do that. I took my fan out of my office and put it in the bedroom, and I am absolutely roasting. It's so hot in this office. That will be a mistake that I rectify tomorrow for sure. What do I have on the back of the shirt? I've not had a name on the back of the shirt ever since I probably left school. I used to get names on my shirts all the time when I was a kid, but not as an adult. I used to get a new Man United shirt for my birthday. With actually, I don't know if I ever got names for the outfield shirt. So I used to get Man United outfield oh my god, what am I trying to say? Like Man United shirt for my birthday, and then for Christmas, I for a few years at least, I would get the goalkeeper kit with Schmeichel on the back. Schmeichel 1. So I used to get 1 goalkeeper kit, 1 regular kit. That was my birthday and Christmas presents. Brad, thank you. Ben, slightly considering Anderson to Reinders, but feels knee-jerk. You feel Anderson could do better than Reinders over the next 5 weeks. Yeah, so that's one of those moves where I completely understand why you want to do it. Like, genuinely, I get it. If I was sat there with Anderson, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. But I'm pretty sure if that was my team, I would probably leave it. And again, I would just value the transfer more. Like, Anderson is capable of doing well over these next few weeks. We already saw that today. Got an assist, came very close to getting those defensive contributions. Now, I'm not saying he'll outscore Reinders, far from it, right? I wouldn't be putting my money on that right now. But I feel like if you've got Arias, I completely get doing the Reinders move tonight. I would probably do that. But for Anderson, it doesn't feel as good. Sell Marlon for a Dinger or Reinders. I think you just get Reinders in for tonight. Ruta to Semenya for a -4. I won't be able to do it if Semenya's price rises. I wouldn't do that. Like, what's the rush to get him in now, you know? I own Reinders, but I'd love to see him bench next game just to watch the community have a total meltdown. I don't think people would, honestly. I think he's done enough in game week 1, so people would just see the value. I'm on a similar score to Ben Crellin, which is showing me I shouldn't panic. Ben is amazing. One of the best FPL managers out there. Will I do a Dinger to Reinders? Again, it's a bit like Anderson. I understand why you want to do it, and I wouldn't begrudge you doing it, but I feel like you don't have to. Man United feel like they have to have Šeško on the field for so much of the game. There was just no one in the centre to target. Yes, but that will come with time, right? I'm thinking of replacing Frimpong, Salah, João Pedro, Guiu with Calafiori, Semenyo, Ekitike, Harden in the next 3 game weeks. Like, that is ultra knee-jerk, honestly. You're basically... I mean, Salah actually did all right as well. Is Cunha better or Reinders? Probably Cunha, but Reinders gives you a lot of money to spend, which is the reason people like him. Well, and the points obviously help as well. I felt like a lot of the attack for Liverpool will be down the left wing, hence why I went without Salah. Fair enough, could work. Dewsbury Hall brace. Oh, I can't tell you how good that will be. It might rescue my game week a little bit. Would I trust Pedro Porro against Man City? I'm feeling an assist or maybe Van der Ven with a DEFCON. I'd play Porro over Van der Ven. Like, any time you've got a choice between those two. Wildcard next week. I personally won't be wildcarding next week at all. But everyone else is welcome to do it, yeah? Is Mayenda a better option than Bowen? Probably not. I'm 3rd from bottom in the league with my mates and I'm on 49 points. It's 1 game week. We've still got 37 to go. Do not panic too much. What do you think about Dorgu? Not sure if I should start with him, Esteve, or Anderson. I'd probably play Esteve and Anderson over Dorgu, arguably. Although Dorgu is a wing-back, but yeah, probably. As a Toon fan, I'm conflicted that I got 6 points for the Sunderland defender. Oof, must feel dirty. Thoughts on Porro to Minoz for the coming fixtures? Not a bad transfer. I'm slightly tempted to do it myself, but I think I'll hold and maybe think about it in game week 4 instead. I really don't want to make any early transfers. Should I eat the Konza price drop? I think Konza is a fairly easy one to eat the drop for because it's not like there's another 4.5 defender that you have to rush out and get right now. And it's not like after the suspension, the fixtures that he comes back to are terrible. Like, they're actually pretty good. So it sucks. And I do think team value can be important. Like, where possible, you probably should, if it's not too dangerous, you should probably like think about moving early to avoid a price drop or to get a price rise. But you're not going to be able to catch everyone. And I just don't think there's a rush to get rid of Konza, personally. I just remind myself I had a plan when I made the team. Too early to make transfers when my players are fit. Yeah, I think most people should just take a step back and think about why they picked those players in the first place. And for some people, it might be they've made a mistake or they thought someone was going to start and they haven't done. But for most people, or at least most of the players they've picked, you're probably okay, you know? João Pedro and Konza to Achi Amangpong. I got to learn how to say that. And Ekitike. No, I probably wouldn't do that. What's the rush to get rid of João Pedro? Dorgu is really attacking, but remember that Ahmad will start easier games as right wing back and attack more than Dallo. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see Amad Diallo bench, but I guess it kind of made sense, right? You want to stay a little bit more solid from a defensive point of view early on, and then maybe attack at the end. Areola didn't start. Yes, Hermansen as I guess I'd say as expected. I think most of us thought that Hermansen would be number 1 eventually, but not necessarily, from game week 1. Essential 4.5 million defenders. Clearly, you've never heard of Ballard. I know. What an absolute legend for anyone that went there. Triple Everton for tomorrow. 20 points incoming. Yeah, for Leeds players maybe. Did not see the game. Was Palmer actually that bad? He was pretty bad, yeah. I mean, Palace were just quite good as well. Excuse me. I had to sneeze there. The Liverpool defenders get clean sheets. Not this week, but maybe in future weeks. What do I think about transferring in Semenyo? I think if you've got a player that really needs to be sold, Semenyo should definitely be looked at. But I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to get him. Let's get on the Richarlison bandwagon. I'd be straight on him if Solanke got injured. I think Solanke's a great option for 6.5, but you just can't go there with Solanke. I know you're only joking, but yeah, can't go there. Took a punt on Frimpong. Now his minutes are scaring me. So I did tweet when Frimpong got brought off that his minutes are going to be a problem, especially when Bradley's back. But actually, apparently he had a hamstring problem. So he probably would have made it past 60 without that. So I wouldn't panic too much. Wait and see what Arne Slot says. And if he's out, then maybe think about selling him to someone else. But if he says he's fine, I would just keep him. How come you have Dubravka over Sanchez for game week 2? Mostly just because it's home game against Sunderland. Like, that is Burnley's best game of the season. So, why not play him, you know? Wirtz is Semenyo. I have Salah and Gakpo already. I mean, I guess what have you seen to sell Wirtz? If you want to do it, fine. I think Semenyo is a good option, but I don't think you need to sell Wirtz. Will you sell Dewsbury Hall for Reinders with 0.5 in the bank? Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier because I don't have the 0.5. If I did, would I make the move? I'm not so sure I would. With Xhaka, maybe. Because I think with Xhaka, you know he's going to be fairly defensive. But with Dewsbury Hall, he could end up just being a good option as well and save you money. But honestly, I think the most likely way right now that I would get Reinders in is to wait and see where Dewsbury Hall plays. I really want to see where he plays when Grealish and Njai are on the pitch. Because if he goes a bit deeper, then obviously there's less worry about him. But for me to get Reinders in, I'm going to have to sell Fernandes or Wirtz or Watkins. And I just don't want to rush into that decision. It's just crazy. But if I had the 0.5, I feel like I probably wouldn't do it. I'd rather just have the transfer. But it just feels bad doing it before he's played, honestly. So I probably wouldn't do it. But again, I wouldn't begrudge you if you really want to go ahead with it, honestly. Missed most of the stream. Will be a bit harder for me to keep up with the content, especially the live streams this season. Recently had a newborn. Congratulations to go over 2-year-old. Oof. Good luck with that. I mean, plenty of videos to come this week. Don't worry. I mean, the knee-jerk streams are always a little bit all over the place because obviously questions are flying in and stuff like that. There's no set agenda. But the videos will be a bit more concise next week and stuff like that. So no panic. No panic. Concise-ish. Concise as I'm ever going to make a video, I guess. Will I sell Palmer if he blanks against West Ham? Probably not. But I guess Haaland would be right there, right? Palmer and Watkins to Reinders and Haaland could be quite tempting. Here's another problem, right? For those of us that don't own Reinders. And when I say a problem, I mean it's going to be a problem for me. Because here, I'm telling you now, right? This is exactly what's going to happen. I will not buy Reinders this week. Unless I pick up a midfield injury, I will not buy him. I just know I won't. I'll be more patient than that. He'll then score against Spurs. His price will go up even more. And I'll think about him for game week 3. But then I'll be thinking, yeah, but then it's Man United at home and Arsenal away after Brighton away. So for game week 3, 4 and 5, it's Brighton away, Man United home, Arsenal away. So I'll be thinking, probably skipping for those harder fixtures. Champions League starting soon. Then he'll continue to score. And then when he plays Burnley at home in game week 6, I'll buy him for 7 million. That's my prediction for Reinders. I look forward to buying him for 7 million. What should I do with Marmoush? I'll be honest, right? I've not given Marmoush a lot of thought, so I don't know exactly where I stand. I feel like I would probably sell him. I feel like that's what I would end up deciding to do if I had him in my team, because it would just feel like so much money to not be getting anything for him. So I think I'd probably sell. It feels horrible to have to do that, but he might not start again, right? I'm starting Richards over Juve this week. Decent little rotation. Yeah, Richards I would definitely play this week. Forest at home, good fixture. Although Chris the Inevitable Wood is probably going to score another brace. I think with Oscar Bob, I would just probably not kid yourself that he's nailed. You're probably not going to buy him. Your team is in a much better state than last year at this point. Exactly. I'm kind of okay with it, honestly. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know, if I'm sat here with 40 points next week and another terrible game week and Reinders has scored a hat-trick, maybe I'll be panicking a little bit more. But next week, you know what? I'll have 2 transfers to deal with it. I need the best goalkeeper for 4.5. If I was buying a goalkeeper this week, I'd go Petrovic, I think. Now the Liverpool game's out of the way. Captain, Watkins game week 2, Brentford week. I don't think he's the best captain, but it's fine if you want to go there. I think Watkins this week will probably be in the same position as I had Bowen last week. Like, if you want to go differential, that's probably where to go. Although Bowen obviously did not end up doing very well at all. I think I'm on 43 points. Would you ever FOMO into Haaland? Probably not, because I'd have to sell Salah, and I haven't seen any reason to get rid of Salah so far. Haaland, the first time that was suddenly very loud. The first time I'm probably going to look at Haaland is game week 6. I'm either going to wildcard around then, or I'm going to free hit, or I'm just going to transfer him in. I'll do Salah out and get Haaland in. Like honestly, game week 6 might be the first week that Reinders makes it into my team. That Luke thread was spot on. Reinders isn't I guess you mean guaranteed start once Rodri is back. We'll see. I mean, so one thing that Luke sent to me, which I missed, outside of that thread, he might have put it in the thread. I didn't see, but Pep Guardiola said this. Where is it? Let me find his message to me. Yeah, Pep Guardiola asked what he liked most about Man City's performance versus Wolves. He said first half, that's what he liked the most. Second half was, and then he shook his head, we scored the goals in transition. In the last 10 to 15 minutes with Ryan Cherky, who's a master at keeping the ball, we were a little bit better. So Pep was basically saying that in the second half, they were better when Cherky came on. And obviously once he comes in, it might change who else they play. So, you know... Honestly, I feel like this is a broken record conversation every year with Man City. You know, we think a player is suddenly nailed, and then they're almost certainly not. I still think Reinders will play in a majority of games. Maybe all of them, if not way more than enough to be value. But yeah, any like Bob, Marmouche, Shirky, like they're all problems potentially. Our defensive contributions overrated. It looks like very few players actually reach the threat. I would say don't knee-jerk too much on defensive contributions. It's one game week. Players are not going to get them every week. We already know that. They're just an added thing to kind of look at. Yeah, I'm not going to do Palmer to Reinders, Watkins to Haaland for a hit, am I? Thoughts on versus Semenyo? Transfer that's not really needed, I would say. Just to follow on my previous question, I've already got Salah, Gakpo, Dewsbury Hall, Reinders, Salah, Haaland, Watkins. Currently 72 points, no chips. Very nice. I'm not sure what your previous question was, though, if I'm honest. Versus Semenyo. Yeah, I still don't think you need to do it, to be honest. Is Ekitike and Haaland better than Salah and João Pedro? It might be, but I think you're probably okay to keep what you've got for now. Should I lose 4 points to get Gay instead of Konza for bench boost? If you got a bench boost, I would want a full playing squad, so yeah. Have you done well so far? Not really. I'm 6.8 million in the world, which does not feel good. My only bit of hope that I'm clinging on to is things can change very quickly. Yeah, in the first few weeks. The problem is they can also get worse. But we'll see. We'll see. Bruno to Reinders for Fulkrug to Gyökeres. For a -4, probably not. I really think if you wanted to get Gyökeres in, there probably should have been a plan to do it. Like, start with Watkins and then sell him, but I don't see the point in selling Watkins right now. Arias, I would consider selling, yes. Right, I'm going to shoot off. Thank you very much for watching me. Thank you for all the Bruno Fernandes and Reinders questions. An absolute joy as always. If you have enjoyed that stream, please do make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Then I can make sure they keep happening if people are going to keep watching them. I will have a more concise video ready for you tomorrow. Plenty of content throughout this week and obviously deadline stream on Friday as well. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and I will catch you again tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining me. See you later.